Australia.
Good day, mates. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening from here in Australia and in other parts of the world, wherever you are right now, watching or listening to our live stream today. Welcome back to another episode of Made in Australia, INCRadio Australia's flagship show from the beautiful land down under. Coming from the local congregation of Stirling here in the Ecclesiastical District of Western Australia, I am Brother Hans Natividad, and I am very excited to see and listen to all of you again as we have another wonderful episode today. And we are shining today our spotlight on some of our best companions for today's episode, and we will be looking at none other than our own pets. I'm actually excited to hear about all of the funny, heartwarming, and even surprising stories about what it is like for everyone here to take care of pets from here in Australia. Even though I myself don't have any personal pets, I am also being joined today by my pet plush penguin, Perry. For everyone watching, look at Perry and say hi. Hello, Perry. See, look at my beautiful blue penguin, Perry. We're actually matching good clothes today. And Perry, he's saying hi to everyone watching. And we will be joining all of you together here. And also, I'd like to give a quick shout out to all of my fellow brethren and players who are right now participating in the Unity Games of our ecclesiastical district. We will be having it as a 2-day event starting from today and tomorrow on our public holiday. And congratulations in advance to all of our winners straight away. And hello to everyone here in Western Australia for our wonderful event. And speaking of which, in today's episode, I am not actually alone. Perry and I are actually being joined today by two other wonderful hosts coming all the way from the southern and the eastern coasts of Australia. Let's say hello, everyone, to Sister Chloe and Brother Warwick.
Yes, hello, everyone. Good day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone listening here on Made in Australia. I am, of course, from the Southern Coast here in Australia. My name is, of course, your sister Chloe De La Paz, all the way from the local congregation of Adelaide here in the District of Victoria, Australia. It's good to be back, and I can already tell that there's so many of you in the live chat, so make sure to keep commenting as well as to mention your local congregation, and we will make sure to shout you out as well, and any birthday greetings, anything like that, everyone. So make sure, especially if you have some pets here in Australia, we would love to hear some of your thoughts, especially if you have one of those like a little bit unusual pets, so not just the dogs and the cats, maybe some snakes, some frogs, all of that. We would love to hear your stories as well. So be excited, everyone, and so because our topic is so exciting today. And of course, it's not just going to be me, and it's not just going to be our very handsome brother Hans, but it's also our very handsome brother Warwick joining us to host today. Hello, Brother Warwick.
Hello, Sister Chloe. Thank you very much. I'm Brother Warwick from the congregation of Kingston City here in the District of Victoria. And yes, I love this episode. You know, pets they're not people, but they're great companions nonetheless. And they help us with our mental health. So, you know, pets are fantastic. I used to have a cat actually as a boy. And the cat was one of those ginger cats who reminded me of, you know, some of those cartoons you might see. And he was the kind of cat that was kind of grumpy at times. And one time he was curled up neatly in a ball in a chair, and my cousin went to sit down on the chair. She didn't see he was there. And he was cool as a cucumber. All he did is he just put his paw up with his claws extended, and she sat on the claws and immediately jumped up, and he just went straight back to sleep. So, you know, cats and dogs, they know how to get their way, right? Pets can be amazing, and they're very empathetic, which is great. And so naturally we assign emotion to them. We see their cute faces and we think, oh, you know, so they're great companions. And now we have great guests who have their own dogs here today. So we have Sister Diane with her dog, and I'll let her introduce her dog later on. And we have Sister Paula and Brother Heim with their dog, and you know, there's some great stories they'll be sharing with us. So Sister Diane, why don't we let you introduce yourself and your dog?
Thank you very much, Brother Warwick, and nice to see you as well, Sister Chloe and Brother Hans. And hello to all our INCRadio viewers this afternoon. I am Sister Diane from the local congregation of Sydney, and here with me is my fur baby, Cookie.
And she's so cute. Thank you.
Yeah,
And
hi, Cookie. Oh, she's all awake. Hello, Cookie.
yes.
Let's go over to Sister Paula and Brother Jaime. Who have you got there with you?
Hello, everyone. This is our Beanie. She's Do you want to? Hello. she likes to greet strangers, so I'm pretty sure that if she can see all our viewers out there, she'd be waving her paw and saying hello.
She's so very cute. She's so very cute. No, yeah, she's got that great, with ears, the shape of the fur. I could imagine you give in a lot when she sort of looks at you like, time for treat, no?
You can't say no. You can't say no at all. And the little name tag that says Beanie, adorable. But I know we also have our early bird commenters, Brother Hans. Would you like to give it a go? Shout them out.
Okay, I think Sister Chloe is the best time to speed run through our commenters because I think a lot of our viewers are excited right now. We have Brother Gabriel Briones, Brother John Castillo, Sister Annie Capilita Roja, Brother J. Esmele, Brother Julius Santua, Brother Anel Sembrano, Sister Marife Ramoso, Sister Kathy Martinez, Brother John Reiner Case, Sister Caroline Lorenzo, Sister Jelila Belita, and Sister Glad Santua. Hello to all of you and also to all of our viewers and listeners as you are listening and watching to our episode today. And even my plush pet is saying hello. Hi. Oh, look at that. I can't wait for Sister Chloe Brother Work to talk about all of our wonderful pets today. And speaking of which, I would also like to give a big thank you on behalf of all of us here in INCRadio Australia to all of you, our loyal viewers and listeners who tune in, day out, every week to all of the episodes that we make for our show. And as a way to thank you, please have a look at our short video.
From the bushland to the beaches and everywhere in between, let's thank this week's Mates of Mia.
From Bundaberg, GWS, Queensland, Australia. Ako po si kapatid na Edison Sese, ang aking bahay na si Helda, at ang kampuan na si Sian ay dumabati sa We Love and Support INCRadio Australia.
GWS, District of Queensland, Australia. We love INCRadio po!
And thank you very much to all of you, our mates here in Made in Australia. Sister Chloe, we're very thankful for
Yes.
everyone.
There's so many of them, and a lot of videos coming from Queensland, the District of Queensland. So shout out to you, especially in Bundaberg. I saw some from Fremantle over there in WA as well. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for all of your support. And of course, I need to shout out, what was it? Top 1 in engagement comments last week was
Yeah, I think
Adelaide.
Adelaide, yeah.
Uh-huh,
It was.
I know that's right. And I know that there's so many of you in the comment section as well. I already see a lot of you. Shout out to Sister Eunice Trinidad, Sister Yana Garcia. Hello, Atita Fe. I saw you in the comments. Shout out to you, Sister Jamie. I know you're there, Sister Caitlin. And of course, my parents, Sister Marty and Brother Troy De La Paz. Shout out to you. But we also have so many other commenters. There's hundreds and hundreds of you. Hello to Kuya Jason Mana. Hello po to the cute dogs. They're already saying hi to the dogs. We know who the popular ones are today. Sister Janelyn Inguita, happy unity against to all the brethren in the District of Western Australia. I love INC Radio. And Sister Gina Noble from Perth as well, from the local congregation of Perth. So thank you so much, everyone. We also have Brother Julius Santua, Sister Hilda Bacayo from Queensland, Brother Michael John Nagal, Micah Sumala. Thank you so much for all of your comments. So make sure you keep on commenting and we will continue to shout you out as well. So there's already so many of you, which is so exciting. But before that, before we get on to our insights with our pets and our special guests and our extra special guests, let's look over to our Discovering Down Under for this week.
Hey, Kiki.
Yes, so today we are featuring not only Sister Diane, Sister Paula, Brother Jaime, but also their furry friends, Cookie and Beanie as well. So be sure to give your shout outs, especially to our furry friends, Cookie and Beanie, because I'm sure they will appreciate it. And I'm sure that for every shout out they will get a treat. I'm not not condoning this, but you know, I'm biased towards them. And of course, everyone that's discovering Down Under every single week. So that's in our show at 3 p.m. Philippine time. But we just wanted to give you a reminder, everyone, because next week, actually next Sunday, October 5, we will start daylight savings here in Australia, which means that it won't be at 5 won't be at 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time anymore. It'll be at 6 p.m. So everyone, please get your calendars ready. It's just going to be adjusted 1 extra hour forward. So, for example, that's here in Adelaide, that'll be at 5:30 instead of 4:30. It'll stay the same for Queensland and Western Australia, but for Darwin, it'll be, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 4 o'clock. But I will get back to you on that one, everyone. Brother Warwick, go for it.
Thank you, sister. Yeah, and what a great summary of the different time zones. It's tough, actually, when you're talking about time zones. It gets complicated. Yes, in Sydney and Melbourne, it would be 6 o'clock, like you said. And I love that with Beanie tilting her head. And it's just so cute when you see puppies trying to understand you and they tilt their head and they're listening. So, everyone, yes, please continue to comment and let us know what you think of the dogs and your own pets and your own experiences with pets. And so please stay tuned, because you are watching Made in Australia, brought to you by INCRadio Australia Satellite Studio, one of the official satellite studios of INCRadio.
Made in Australia.
Welcome back, everyone. You're still listening to Made in Australia, brought to you by INCRadio Australia Satellite Studio, one of the official satellite studios of INCRadio. And I would like to give my shout outs to Beanie and Cookie and all of our pets, because they are adorable. And today is a PSA. It is an ad for me to get a dog. So maybe in the next show that I host, I don't know, everyone. But shout out to Sister Kathy Martinez from Armadale, Jenny Reyes and Samotia, Jolina Balita, Sister Kylene Lorenzo from Toowoomba, Brother John from Dean Park, from the local congregation of Dean Park. Hello, Kuya John, how are you? And we also have Brother Jerome San Miguel and Sister Carmina Santander. Thank you so much for all of your comments, everyone. We see you, and make sure you continue to comment and shout out our lovely furry friends as well, because they will get a lot of treats today. Isn't that right, Brother Hans?
Very much so, Sister Chloe. And speaking of getting a lot of treats, I'm pretty sure we'd love to see both Cookie and Beanie getting their wonderful treats. And I hope Perry also gets some. Perry, I wish you could have it right now, but please. just one request. You can also try giving your love to Cookie and Beanie, or even Perry if you'd like to, PERI, by using the hashtag We Love Cookie or hashtag We Love Beanie on the comments. We'll actually look. I myself will look for all of those comments, and we'd love to see all of your love for our wonderful pets today. And now let's get to the bottom of, because I'm really excited to talk about Cookie and Beanie today. And I'm looking at both of them right now, and I just can't help but be filled with awe, Sister Chloe, about the work. I think we'd have a really fun time together today. And speaking of which, let's actually start with you, Sister Diane, because I really can't help but look at Cookie's wonderful eyes. Could you please tell us a little bit more about Cookie's specific breed, and how did she become part of your wonderful family there?
Thank you, Brother Hans. Yes, so Cookie is actually a caboodle. So for those who doesn't know, it's a mix of a cavalier and also a poodle. And so it's a sheep, obviously. And she just recently turned 12, actually last August. So she's quite mature, but she's still quite very energetic, especially when we go for our runs in the park. So how she became actually part of my little family is actually quite a blessing in disguise, because I adopted her from a church family friend whose their family is quite growing quite a bit big, and they also need to move houses as well. And it's just very timely because this was around 2019 when we had the COVID lockdown. So that's why I said it was quite a blessing in disguise, because as we all know, during that time, we went on a lockdown, and she became the very reason for me to be able to go out every day, to go walk out in the park, and we were walking at least twice a day. So for me, that was a really good timing, because I had a companion during that time. And even though I was working from home, I have this little furry little one who would tag me on the side, and kind of like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, like trying to say like, oh, it's time for a little walk, time for you to get up of your chair from working. So that is one of the way that I got Cookie. So even though she was a rescue dog, she was still very friendly. She can be a little bit protective at times due to her history, but once you get to know her, all she loves is having a belly rub.
Speaking of belly rubs, I actually miss my auntie's dogs, because I used to live with my aunties here before. And shout out to both Sister Rayo, Lativida, and Sister Mala again, and my wonderful aunties, and also their wonderful dogs, Zembe and Missy. Because speaking of belly rubs, I actually want to give a good belly rub to them right now. And I'm really glad to hear about your wonderful story about your wonderful Cookie it was a caboodle, wasn't it? Yeah, Cookie
Yes.
the caboodle.
Yes,
There we
Cookie
go.
the caboodle. So the actual food Cookie.
There we go. So that makes it even more wonderful. And speaking of wonderful pets, we also have Sister Paula and Brother Jamie showing off their wonderful dog Beanie right now. Could you tell us a little bit more about their breed, a little bit more, please, and also how Beanie became a part of your family?
Of course. So, hi everyone. This is Beanie. We named her after I'm a huge coffee lover. And when she was a tiny puppy, I could swore her fur looked like a color of a coffee bean, basically. So I called her Beanie. Very perfect for Cookie. We basically dip Cookie into a cup of coffee, right? But anyway, how I got Beanie was also during lockdown. Do you want to treat? So I got her during lockdown, and basically she was one of those pets where, remember in the news, after lockdown, all the demand for dogs suddenly went up. And Beanie was one of those dogs that I got. Basically, I felt like I needed a companion. So as Brother Warwick said, they're the perfect companion, right? They help us with our mental health, and just someone to talk to, and just someone to basically give you that help that you need in terms of, she's like a therapy dog without her knowing. And that's how we got her. We got her from Singapore, and now we're here in Melbourne.
Oh, actually, listening to that wonderful story actually makes me want to get a proper dog for myself now. Oh my goodness, I actually
Or
find it a little bit
yeah,
cute, Sister Chloe.
they're
What do you
so
think?
cute. They're adorable, and I love that we've paired up the right like pair of dogs with like the coffee themed beanie and
Mhm.
the cookie. Like it all just matches up so well.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
so
want to
everyone
go
in
to a cafe now?
I know. Twist my arm, let's go get a coffee. You know what I mean? But yes, everyone in the comment section, share with us as well your most memorable memory with your pet, whether that be a dog, cat, bunny, or maybe the frogs, the snakes, all the reptiles. I find those ones to be the most fascinating. The lizards. If anyone has a lizard as a pet, that would be a really cool story to tell, honestly. But there's what we're talking about as well is having a pet specifically here in Australia. So, in your experience, let's go to you, Brother Jaime and Sister Paula, because in your experience, Beanie came from Singapore. So, what was the difference between, or what's something special, or the difference between having a pet, especially here in Australia, especially compared to Singapore, where Beanie was from originally?
Yeah, we'd love to share because it was worth the time and effort for us to get Beanie in Australia because there's just tons of activities that she gets to enjoy now here.
That's true.
In Singapore, it's like a city across the whole country, whereas in here there are a lot of outdoor activities that we can enjoy. We enjoy long road trips as well. She enjoys car rides, and she enjoys camping and hiking. We go on bushwalking. We take her to the beach. On weekends, we walk by the lake
Yeah.
near our place, and so there's just tons of cafes as well that are dog friendly. And so it's not a question for us in terms of what do we do on a weekend. It's a matter
Yeah.
of just picking the place because we wouldn't run out of things to do
Yeah.
in here. There are also dog friendly parks that we go to. Except for, so to all our listeners out there, don't go to national parks. Dogs are not allowed in national parks. So we always bring Beanie to dog friendly places. So before we do, before we bring her out, we do our research and we make sure that we stay away from national parks because wildlife here is protected as
Yeah.
well.
Beanie may be a small dog, but she's big on adventure.
Oh, she's a big traveler. I found with Beanie, so she's very well traveled, and they've made a good point, Sister Paula and Brother Jaime, that Australia is a very pet friendly place. There's a lot of even here in Adelaide, what I've noticed is that there's a lot of parks and there's a lot of like outdoor areas, even cafes and malls that are very welcoming to pets. And that's something that I find is really like just embraced as a culture here in Australia. Something that I've noticed, is that something that you've also resonated with, Sister Diane?
Yes, definitely, Sister Chloe. I think here in Australia, one of the very good thing is because they're quite open to having pets, not just dogs in general. It's actually well regulated here in Australia. So as I mentioned earlier, I adopted Cookie from a family friend, but it does involve quite a bit of paperwork as well. So I had to make sure that the ownership has been transferred over to me. And one of the very first thing that I had to do upon getting her is actually taking her to the vet to make sure that she has, everything has been checked out and, documentations has been filled, her vaccinations is up to date. And because that is something, especially when you are traveling around Australia, that is actually one of the requirements here to make sure that their vaccinations is up to date. So that if there's any issues, then, you have that to ensure that, everyone is safe as well. So I think, that is one thing that I'm very thankful for here in Australia, because anything that you need in terms of caring for your dog, it's readily available. And also the surroundings We have all these wonderful parks, but you just need to do a bit of your research, to all our listeners and our viewers, because as you know, as Sister Paula and Brother Jamie has already mentioned, there are a few places that is, they're not quite dog friendly yet, but you need to search out. Especially, there are dog beaches around the area, around Australia, that you can freely take your dog so that they can actually also enjoy the company of other dogs or even other pets, and make friends as well. So just make sure you do your research if if you're planning to do a trip. Make sure that wherever you're going, you have all the necessary requirements, and also you bring all what is needed from your dog. So for example, I can't travel without Cookie's trolley. I think that is one of the big way for me to take her all around, especially there are some shopping centers that allow for you to take your dog as long as they are in a trolley. Because having your pets, sometimes you get a little bit sad when you're leaving them at home. Isn't that right, Sister Paula, Brother Jamie? I'm sure you feel the same when you're leaving them.
Yeah, they're very cute. And they're very, what I've noticed was that through all the paperwork and all of like the regulations that we're kind of, we know what to do here in, like, for example, with Sister Paula, Brother Jaime, and Sister Dan, they've all experienced that kind of process of adopting a dog, whether that be through a rescuer, through a breeder. There's a lot of regulations, but it also comes with this privilege of being able to have such pet-friendly environments. So other regulations, such as like quarantine regulations. So for example, Sister Paula and Brother Jaime might be able to talk about it a little bit more, but with pets coming from overseas, how quarantine works. But then there are also some pet-friendly areas. So like, for example, dog parks, where dogs you will need to have them on a leash. For example, some of them you don't need a leash for. And then there are also other kinds of general requirements for having a dog in Australia. So I feel like this is a good time to just kind of wrap through a little bit of them. So one is like definitely registration. So of course, register your dog with the local council. Microchipping, neutering, vaccinations as well are strongly recommended. But of course, if you're planning to have a pet, especially here in Australia, make sure to check, because different regulations will apply to certain different states. And in saying that, of course, my very strong Adelaide, I can't talk today. My Adelaide strong family, they are popping off in the comments. I would just like to give a shout out to Sister Farah Masa, from the local congregation of Adelaide. Hello po to all brethren all over the world. Greetings po to Brother James Bakir, and hello to his little pet Max, because Max is a little dog from one of our kadiwas here in Adelaide. So the kadiwas are those who are baptized members over the age of 18 and are not currently married. And then we also have a comment from Sister Yana Manalili. Why didn't I get invited for this episode? Because she also has a dog, Nami. So shout out to all of the pets here in Australia, here in Adelaide, specifically our Adelaide strong family. But Brother Warwick, I know we have more questions for our guests.
Actually, just before we move on, super quick, I was wondering, Sister Paula and Brother Hein, when you take lovely Beanie there out to a park, do you find it hard to identify where you can let Beanie go off the leash or stay on the leash? Is it easy to see?
Yeah. So the great thing about parks here in Australia, there are signages just before you enter the park. So you wouldn't miss it. And it's a great guide for us whether to know, is this place an off-leash only park, or is this a leash only park? And for Beanie here, since she's a COVID puppy, she was under socialized when she was young. We tried to avoid off-leash areas at first, until such time that she was more confident and was better at dealing with dogs. So we always pay attention into these signages. And for those who don't know, if you don't observe and respect the signages and the rules and regulations, fines may apply. So we always keep an eye out on these signs.
And that's an interesting point too. I mean, when your dog's not used to meeting other dogs around them, they might get a bit stressed or they might struggle with that. So it's nice to know where you can take them that everybody has to keep their dog on leash. It's actually not just a restriction or a limitation. It can actually be a blessing, can't it?
Yes, totally. So especially for her when she just first moved here, she was a little bit more reactive. And so all the parks that we went to, we made sure that these are just on leash only areas.
Yeah. And the same with beaches, is that right?
Yeah, well, for beaches, if you go to a dog beach, if you go to a beach, there would be signages whether dogs are allowed or not. And there are designated areas where you can bring your dogs in the beach. So you can't just bring your dog into, the public beach where everybody and all the kids and all the families enjoy. And so that's where we bring her now these days, because she's better in terms of interacting with other dogs. And there's a nearby beach where we stay, St. Kilda Beach, and there's a designated beach there. And we make sure that she gets all the freedom that she can get in the beach, because generally the dog owners here are responsible too, and those who are off leash are also well trained, and they have very strong recall training. And so we make sure that Beanie as well is on point with her command and listening skills. Right, Beanie?
That's fantastic. Yeah. And so moving on, just in fact, let's continue, Sister Paula and Brother Heim. So, we understand that you like to take Beanie outdoors. Please tell us about, your favorite outdoor, let's say, activity with Beanie.
Yeah, well, we love to bring her to for camping and bushwalking. And before we plan our trips, we look at places that allow dogs. And the good thing about parks and camping spots in Australia is it's very clear. It's very clear which campsites allow dogs and what are the regulations. Is it an off leash only, or must they be on leash at all times? So it's quite right, Beanie. It's quite the fun activity that she gets to enjoy here. She loves outdoors for sure.
And she obviously does. She's giving you so many kisses as you talk about it.
Yeah.
So, in fact, I think we have a video of Beanie on a camp.
We love the great outdoors, and so does our dog Beanie. Here are the top 2 activities we enjoy doing as a family. First is bushwalking. As a pet owner, there's nothing better than seeing your dog happily walking alongside you, tail wagging and nose in the breeze. She even pauses to look out over the waves to admire the view. There are moments when we stop and sit on the grass, just taking it all in, feeling the breeze in our hair. The second is camping. Camping has been one of our most cherished traditions. We've camped in places like Barnsdale and Lakes Entrance, but our all-time favorite spot is Tara Valley. Imagine setting up camp, pitching your tent, and you're surrounded by towering mountain ash trees. At night, we set up a bonfire, and then we settle to our tent, exhausted from the day's adventures. And our dog curls up beside us, happy and content. Our dog absolutely loves camping. She explores every corner of the campsite, chases sticks, greets other campers and their dogs. And as pet owners, there's a real sense of joy in watching her experience the great outdoors. It's not just a getaway for us, it's an adventure for her as well.
Just watching that, you just can't help but be caught up. It's almost infectious, the enthusiasm that a dog has when it's like, come outdoors, check it out, Louis, look at this. They get so enthusiastic, it's amazing.
Yeah,
So,
totally.
sorry, totally, yeah. So let's go to Sister Diane and ask her about the favorite places she likes to take Cookie.
Thank you, Brother Warren. Well, I think, just very similar as well to Sister Paula and Brother Jamie. I've taken Cookie quite a bit of a trip as well, but she's a little bit more, actually a bit more a homebody, because I think now that she's more mature, she prefers a little bit at home, and she doesn't have that, be able to stay that long in terms of activity outdoors. So what we do is she accompanies me in some of the long drives, and just like Sister Paula and Vinny as well, we do quite a bit of traveling. We research where is like the dog-friendly towns here, and we tend to go around there. So for me, it's quite a blessing. Where I currently live, there is actually a dog park near me, a 10 minutes walk, which is actually fenced, and they allow off leash, where it's quite a big park area. So Cookie gets to enjoy on a Saturday morning when the weather is really good, that she gets to actually play with other dogs. And of course, for me, I actually get to meet other other people who are like, they have also their pets. And it's a nice way to actually interact and form some sort of bonding as well. And we get to chat about, our week, and you became friends through that as well. So that's why I said having a pet is really kind of a blessing, because it helps you, not just only your companion, they help you as well in terms of socializing, because you get to meet people who have to share the same, get to talk about your dogs, your pets, and share that same interest as well. So she likes to do more of the outdoor. Unfortunately, not too much of any water activity, but she loves a good run whenever she can when we go out.
She knows what she likes, and that's adorable. And before that, I would just like to give a lovely shout out to all of our commenters, because there's so many new names, especially hello to Sister Amador Bayalan from Hobart, Annalisa Yamswan from Melbourne, Sister Elodie Cruz from Donnybrook, Brother Dada Diolola, happy viewing from the local congregation of Port Adelaide, Sister Natalie Alguna, hi Natalie from Brimbank, Brother Mark Francisco from Palmerston City, and Sister Geraldine Nagal from Maryland. Thank you as well for all of your comments. And of course, we've got some shout outs, because some of our commenters do have pets. Sister Yesha Mana from Kingston City, hello. Hi Yesha, she gives a shout out to her cat. And Sister Ivy Palma, our very own director, shout out to my cat Yuki, watching INC Radio right now. So even if you have pets, everyone, if you have pets and you want to give them a shout out, please do so in the comments, and we are going to make sure that we will read yours first. So what's next? Let's go over to Brother Hans. I know you have some more questions for our guests.
Yeah, and listening to all of that, Sister Chloe, about the work, I can't help but think that I'm pretty sure that Sister Diane and even Sister Paula and Brother Jaime have their own personal best memories with their pets. And as much as I would love to have have a pet right now, I'd love to listen to like their top moments being with their pets right now. And speaking of which, if I could start first with Sister Diane, I wonder what would be like. We've also touched about how Cookie has been a really beautiful part of your life, also, not just with improving your personal life, but also with how she is also involved with your personal life at church, and more importantly at church as well. I wonder now, what is perhaps one of your funniest or most heartwarming moments that you've had with Cookie? And could you please tell us a little bit more about it, and what would possibly be like a life-changing moment that you knew, yes, Cookie will be there with me forever as a memory and also as part of my life?
Well, to be honest, there is quite a few of them little things of Cookie has done. But before we talk about that, Sister Chloe, I also want to give a shout out actually to Brother John, because I just remembered he actually owns a cat. So hello, Q John, shout out to you. And I know how much you also spoil your cat as well at her. I know it's been a while that you have the cat, so I just want to give a shout out to him as well. So in terms of that, Brother Hans, so I just want to make mention a little bit that I'm also a choir member in our local congregation. And so I think, with Cookie, as we all know, pets, they thrive on having a routine. And I think she's quite used to my routine, especially because now that I've been working from home most of the time as well, she kind of knows when I'm actually off to going to church and all that stuff. And, there are just days that, when you just sometimes can't. There was like one Sunday morning where I just couldn't wake up to my alarm. And I think it's one of those, when you fall asleep the second time, you fall into a very deep sleep and you don't hear anything else. And so pretty much I think Cookie knew that I had to go to church that day, that she woke me up. She kept licking my face. She didn't stop. And that was very out of her character, because she never normally wakes me up. It's more of like when she feels that I'm awake, she will get up and then she will say good morning to me. But this time she really woke me up to be able to so that I won't miss church. And I think from that moment on, I was always thankful, and that she's kind of like someone who is able to look after me in that way. That she knew, she's like, oh, I have to wake her up. She knows she needs to go to church. She needs to perform her duty. And ever since then, she gets more now spoiled with her treats because of that, that little simple acts. And I think every morning, I think that's something now that she looks up to me too. So that is one of those little moments for me. And even my parents, I'm sure they would have some little stories to share. But I'm more interested actually to hear more about Sister Paula, because, just hearing your story about traveling from Singapore all the way here to Australia, I think that would have been quite a story. So I'd love to hear it.
For sure. Yeah, we're happy to share because for us, we moved here in 2022. But before we moved, I think 6 months before we moved, we've already been processing her papers and all that. And our most heartwarming experience and our memory with her was when we finally got reunited after her quarantine. But I remember when we were still in Singapore and we had to make sure that all her vet checkups, all her health checks, she had to meet these requirements, because otherwise she wouldn't be able to fly, right? And we booked her flight 6 months in advance because it's a little bit hard to get a spot in the quarantine facility in Australia. And there's only one quarantine facility here, which is in Mickleham. And we're lucky that it's already in Melbourne and we didn't need to take that another domestic flight to when she's in Australia. So when I remember when our pet relocator, the one that we hired to process everything for her, picked her up from our place on the day of her flight. We prayed together as a family and we asked God for his help to help us to make sure that Beanie's flight goes smoothly, all her health checks will go out well, and that she will pass all the health exams that she needed to take. And the quarantine here in Australia, for those who are thinking of relocating their pets too, no news is good news. So basically, for that whole 10 days that she was in quarantine, we didn't hear anything about her, and which was a good sign, because they will only contact you if there's any health issues or if there's any concerns about her health or about her well-being. And so on the day that we picked her up, we were so happy. We were super ecstatic to see her. She was also happy to see us. Her tail was wagging. She was jumping up and down, and she smelled like poultry, to be honest. She was probably quarantined with other animals too, because she didn't smell like a dog. She smelled like chicken.
Sister Paula, I can't imagine how anxious you must be during that 10 days not hearing anything, because even for me, when I leave Cookie to a dog sitter, I know she's well looked after, but at least they still send me like a daily update. But for you, not receiving any, for that 10 days, I agree, like it would have probably felt a little bit worried, even though you said no word from them is a good news, right?
And Beanie is a brave girl, because just imagine her sitting on her crate on an 8-hour flight. That is big for dogs.
Yeah, she's such a trooper. We're super proud of you, Beanie.
Yeah.
And here, do you want Chimken?
Oh, she's getting treats on camera. Oh, she's getting treats on camera, everyone. That's because we gave her lots of shout outs. Isn't that right?
Exactly, sister.
Pretty much so, yeah.
Oh, I love it so much. And before we go on to station break, everyone, we would just like to give some more comments, some more shout outs. Hello to, oh, we have some comments about getting pets. Sister Jamie Ramosa from Adelaide says, my sign to get a dog. Isn't that right? I know Tita Fe is watching. Tita Fe, you know what to do. Sister Eunice Trinidad says, shout out to our lovely shy cats, Orior and Lana from Port Adelaide. Brother Harry Payne, one of our CEBSI, or one of our very young members of the church, Brother Harry says, hello from Adelaide. Shout out to Waffles, my Pomeranian dog. That's so adorable. I'm just going to wrap these out. Hello po to Sister Elaine Falian from Adelaide, Gabrielle Briones from Manor Lakes, Sister Avi Avendano from Adelaide, Sister Lisa Medina from Melbourne, Sister Michelle Scott from Shepparton, Brother Raymond Mabulak also from Shepparton, Sister Donabel Bumatay from Port Villa in New South Wales, and Alan de Guzman from Mackay. Thank you po everyone for all of your support. Over to you, Brother Warwick.
Thank you. And also, there was another shout out or message there from Sister Princess Abadan from Kingston City, basically saying, I love INC Radio. Happy viewing. So that's awesome.
And she also said hello to Brother Warwick. I saved that one for you, Brother Warwick. That's a shout out for you.
Oh.
Okay, so before we end the first part of our discussion, we have more video coming from Sister Alexis Coedo of the local congregation of Queen's Park. Let's watch.
Hello, Paul. I am Alexis, and I have a Siberian Husky called Shady, and he's 13 years old. My dog actually came to me through a surprise from my dad. So one time after a Bible study about 7 years ago, my dad told me to sit on the couch, and then out he came with my dog. It gets really hot in Australia sometimes, so especially because my dog has a thick fur, 2 layers of fur actually, we make sure to bring him inside in the air conditioner instead of staying outside where he normally likes to. One of the places that I love taking my dog to the most is the park near my house, where there's also a playground, and we always go there after school when I have some free time, or on the school holidays, especially when it's near sunset. And he loves playing in the sand, so it's hard to get it out of his fur, but he's really fun. One of Shady's favorite activities is definitely going out to the dog park near my house, where I can actually get him off his leash and he can go run around and sniff some flowers and look at the trees, and also chase down some magpies if he wants. One of my most heartwarming moments with Shady would probably be the first time that I actually got really close and hugged him on the carpet of my house. That was when I was maybe 11 years old, because I used to be scared of dogs, but ever since I had him as a dog, I had to get rid of my fear, but also I realized that dogs aren't actually that scary. So yeah. A word of advice that I would give to people having their first pet is to probably get to know what pet you're getting, especially with Shady. I kind of just had to learn along the way. With his fur, it was really hard to brush, and if you're gonna get a pet, make sure you know how to take care of them well. I used to pray a lot for having a pet and a dog, even though I knew I was scared of dogs, but he was an answered prayer for me, especially looking back how my dad surprised me with him. So it just reminds me of how blessed I am with my life here in Australia, and how blessed I am to have such nice parents. And it reminds me of how God always answers your prayers.
And that wraps up the first part of our discussion. And while Perry is holding the microphone for me, please stay tuned, because you are still watching and listening to Made in Australia, brought to you by INCRadio Australia Satellite Studio, one of the official satellite studios of INC Radio.
Made in Australia.
Join us on INC Radio Made in Australia for a fun-filled episode as brethren and their beloved pets take the spotlight to share what it's really like owning a pet in Australia. Hear heartwarming personal stories, pick up practical tips for caring for pets across Australia's diverse climates, and reflect on the special ways our furry, feathered, and even scaly friends bring joy and companionship into our lives. Send in your comments and join the discussion as we celebrate the pets that make our days brighter. Tune in this Sunday, September 28th at 3 p.m. Philippine time, 5 p.m. Australia Eastern Standard Time.
Made in Australia.
Welcome back to Made in Australia, brought to you via INCRadio Australia Satellite Studio, one of the official satellite studios of INC Radio, and we will be continuing with our discussion. Isn't that right, Brother Warwick?
That's right, Sister Chloe. That was such a touching video just now with Sister Alexis. It actually had me tearing up a bit. So now I'd like to go across to Sister Diane and ask her very quickly, what tip or piece of advice would you give to someone, maybe like Sister Chloe, who's thinking about getting a dog?
There is really quite a bit, Brother Warwick. But I think it's more of like, I think I have to agree with the sister from the previous video that you really need to do a bit of research of what kind of dog would you like. That's someone that who would be able to suit your lifestyle as well. Because if you are someone who is always very active, and there is a certain type of dogs who likes to always being outdoor. But if you're someone who is normally just like me, working from home, then a cavoodle and is a really good one for me, because as I said, they're more than happy just 1 hour or 2 walk a day, and they're just they can just stay at home with a bit of a low maintenance as well. But bigger dogs, they tend to be more energetic and they need to be always out and about. And so that is something that you need to consider, what kind of lifestyle you have and what kind of dog that you would be able, so that you can actually provide support to one another. Because as I said, with having a pet, they give us brightness, they give us that joy, then they also deserve to be well treated as well. Isn't that right, Sister Paula, Brother Jerry?
I couldn't agree more. And what I will add there is for Beanie, important thing for us is routine. Now, before I got Beanie, I wasn't paying attention on my routine on weekends. Actually, I was only waking up early on weekdays for work. But now, since I have Beanie, I need to make sure that my daily routine is the same even on weekends. And so it takes real discipline. If she misses her usual morning walk, or she misses her breakfast, she gets super grumpy. But she gives me a sign like, hey, it's time for my walk. It's time for me to eat. So yeah, Brother
to add on that, you need to consider also getting a pet insurance. So sending your pets to the vet hospital or the vet clinic can be a bit expensive, so you might want to consider that.
Oh, definitely. And I think I think for a lot of the people, especially like the young ones, they tend to having a pet is really fun, but it's not just funs and giggles, but there's also quite a bit of responsibility. So you need to be responsible for your own pet. That's why it's very important to know what kind of pet you want, because you need to be aware what are their needs, what you need to look after for, especially their health. Because as what Brother Harry said, that when you're getting that pet insurance, it's with that you need to check what is going to be considered in there as well, and make sure that everyone is also safe around you, and you need to be responsible in training them. And I think Sister Paul, you would agree with me, this training them is really quite challenging, and I've met a few who are that is quite a challenging for them. So you need to take note of that. So Sister Chloe, if you are going to get a dog or any kind of pet, you need to take in mind that you need to put in that time, set aside that time and that effort to be able to train them, because that is very important, so that you can able to set that routine for them, and you can both live really happily enjoyable life.
Basically, what I'm hearing from our guests today is that I should get a dog. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. All right. Before we get, I'm also very mindful, because we're almost done with our show, everyone. So I just wanted to ask Sister Diane. Let's go over to you first. Do you have any final greetings? Especially to all of your loved ones and your family.
Yes, of course. I want a big shout out to all my family, and of course to our local congregation of Sydney, and all our resident minister, Brother Jake Cosme, and his family, who has always been very supportive of all the activities that we have here, and of course to all the brethren in local congregation of Sydney, especially who has met and played with cookies, especially the little ones. Thank you for always being so friendly and accommodating to us. And also, I think I saw Brother Harold giving a shout out as well. Thank you so much. I know he also owned a husky. So big shout out to you, to having your pets as well. And to all Sister Louise and also Sister Janelle Tejada. Happy birthday to you. They are actually cookies friends as well. So we used to have every now and then we do organize a play date. So hopefully, Sister Paula, if I do come down in Melbourne, maybe we can meet your dog Beanie, and then they can have a play date. So over to you, Sister Paula.
For sure. I'm pretty sure that Beanie will be super happy to meet Cookie in person. We want to just give a shout out to all our brethren in our local congregation of Melbourne. Hi everyone. Hope you're listening and hope that you know Beanie's story.
Oh, shout out to my dad in local congregation of Regina in Canada. Hi.
Oh, Beanie's saying hi. Beanie's saying hi, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sister Diane, Sister Paula, Kuya Jaime, and thank you even to Beanie and to Cookie for being our very special furry guests today. And unfortunately, that will wrap up our show for today. But I know we have some more comments over there, Brother Warwick. Isn't that right?
That's true. From Sister Savannah Cullen in Adelaide, strong, from the congregation of Adelaide. Sister Evelyn Vivas from the congregation of Wyndham, happy viewing. I might speed read the rest now. Brother Erwin Esquera, Rodora Doctor, Sister Jovelyn Sabina, Sister Christine Prado, Brother Jordan Vivas, Ka April Adian Gorospe, Brother William Hanabat, and Ka Ray Martinez. So thank you all for your greetings. And it's fantastic to know that you're all watching us on INCRadio.
Yes, you crushed it, Brother Warwick. You crushed it with that rap. And that wraps up today's episode, everyone. Stay tuned as we continue this season exploring what it's like to live, work, and thrive in the land down under. And just as a reminder, everyone, next week, daylight savings starts. So especially if you are in the states of Victoria, New South Wales, and South Australia, we will be pushing our clocks forward. So that means that our show will be 1 hour later. So it will still be at 3 p.m. Philippine time, which will be the same times for WA, Northern Territory, I checked, and Queensland. But for us in Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, those kinds of areas, even Tasmania, it'll be at 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time or 5:30 p.m. here in Australian Central Daylight Time. Brother Hans.
Thank you very much, Sister Chloe. And please make sure for our episodes moving forward next week, those will be our official schedules. And as always, thank you very much to all of you, our viewers, commenters, and our guests today, Sister Diane, Sister Paula, Brother Jaime, and even the wonderful pets, Cookie and Beanie, for joining us today. I wish I could cuddle you all there. And to our Christian family organizations, thank you very much for always giving us opportunities to produce wonderful episodes like this.
Yes, and above all, we would like to thank our Deputy Executive Minister, Brother Angela Aranyo V. Manalo, for all of your love and your support for us. And last but definitely not the least, our beloved Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, for all of your support and for allowing us to have shows like INCRadio Australia and Made in Australia. We love you so much, Paul, and we will continue to unite with you and the church administration. That is all for our show today, everyone. See you next week. Bye, everyone. Let me get my hearts out.
Bye.
The hearts are working today.
Bye.
Yay! Bye, everyone.
Bye
Shout
bye.
out to my parents, Sister Marty, Brother Troy. Shout out to all of the Adelaide family. Everyone, do your shout outs. Bye,
Shout
everyone.
out to my family,
Bye.
brother Romel, sister Gina, and my sister Rory in Laguna and other parts of the world, and also from Peru.
Ooh. Bye, everyone. My hearts aren't working.
I'm hoping
There
that
we
Latte is
go.
watching me from here.
Oh,
from Manila.
Latte's definitely watching.
Hi, Lata.
Rory's just flying around.
So
Bye,
good.
latte. Chloe, look, Perry's flying.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, that's so cute.
Never will I let go